Lou Gehrig, the story of the Iron Horse who inspired the sports world. Imagine an athlete who played almost continuously for over 14 years. In an era when injuries, fatigue, and mental stress often forced players to rest, there was a man who stood tall on the field every day. He arrived early, worked harder, and played without complaint. His name was Lou Gehrig. The world knew him as the Iron Horse that never stopped running. But Lou Gehrig's story is not just about records, victories, or trophies. His is a story of hard work, humility, courage in the face of a terminal illness, and how one man can inspire the world even when his life is on the verge of ending. A life of struggles. Lou Gehrig was born on June 19, 1903, in New York City. His parents were German immigrants who came to America in hopes of a better life. Gehrig's childhood was far from easy. His family lived in financial hardship. His father often struggled to find steady work, while his mother worked hard to support the family. Of the 4 children born to the family, only Lou survived to adulthood. The experience of losing his siblings as a child shaped Lou into a strong and empathetic person. His mother had high hopes for Lou to receive a good education. As a result, Gehrig was known as a studious child. However, beneath his large frame lay extraordinary athletic talent. From a young age, he began to show remarkable baseball skills. His hitting was so powerful that many believed he had a bright future in the sport. A young star who attracted attention. While attending Columbia University, Lou Gehrig's baseball skills continued to develop. He became one of the most outstanding players at the college level. He was noticed by many scouts. In 1923, his big break came. Gehrig signed with the legendary New York Yankees. At that time, the Yankees already had many star players. For a young player like Gehrig, earning a place in the first team was no easy feat. But he never gave up. He kept training, waiting for his chance, and proving his worth every time he was given the opportunity to play. His patience and hard work slowly began to pay off.
The birth of the Iron Horse. 1925 was a turning point in Lou Gehrig's life. A key player for the Yankees was injured, and Gehrig was given the opportunity to play as a substitute. He didn't waste the opportunity. He played so well that the coach decided to continue playing him as a starter. From that moment on, something extraordinary began to happen. Lou Gehrig kept playing, day after day, week after week, year after year, without complaint, without excuses, without absence. What Gehrig did was almost unbelievable. He appeared in 2,130 consecutive games, a record that stood for more than half a century. In those days, travel between cities was a long and tiring journey by train. Medical facilities were not as sophisticated as they are today. Injuries were often ignored, but Gehrig kept playing. That's why the media and fans gave him the nickname, the Iron Horse, a nickname that reflects his incredible endurance, strength, and consistency. Playing with Babe Ruth. One of the most fascinating parts of Lou Gehrig's career was his partnership with another baseball legend, Babe Ruth. During that era, the Yankees boasted a lineup that was truly terrifying for opponents. Babe Ruth was known as the most famous hitter in the world. Meanwhile, Gehrig was an incredibly consistent run-scoring machine. The two formed a partnership that helped the Yankees dominate the baseball world. Despite playing alongside one of the most famous athletes in the world, Gehrig never sought the spotlight. He preferred to let his performance on the field do the talking. His humble character earned him the respect of many. While Babe Ruth was a figure of scrutiny and controversy, Lou Gehrig was a symbol of composure and professionalism. Achievements hard to match. Throughout his career, Lou Gehrig amassed a remarkable array of accomplishments. He became one of the greatest hitters in baseball history. His statistics were impressive. He hit over 490 home runs. He had over 1,900 RBIs. His batting average was also among the best of his time. Gehrig won numerous individual awards and helped the Yankees win numerous championships. He was voted the league's most valuable player several times. But what set him apart wasn't just the numbers. What made him special was his consistency. Many players are capable of a great season or two. Gehrig did it almost every year, for over a decade. That's why many sports observers consider him one of the most reliable athletes in history.
A loved person. Off the field, Lou Gehrig was known as a friendly and humble person. He didn't seek sensationalism. He didn't like to get involved in conflict. He treated teammates, stadium staff, and fans with respect. This characteristic contributed to his ever-growing popularity. Even people who weren't Yankees fans respected him. Gehrig exemplified that a great athlete doesn't have to be arrogant. True greatness can go hand in hand with humility. This value remains relevant today. The beginning of a mysterious illness. Toward the end of the 1930s, something began to change. The usually strong Lou Gehrig began to lose strength. His punches weren't as powerful as they once were. His movements seemed slower. At first, many thought he was simply tired, but his condition worsened. His once tough body slowly lost its strength. Gehrig began having difficulty doing things that had previously seemed easy. He knew something was wrong, but no one knew how serious the problem was. A diagnosis that changed everything. In 1939, doctors finally discovered the cause of Gehrig's condition. He was diagnosed with a disease now known as ALS, or amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. This disease attacks the nerve cells that control muscle movement. Gradually, sufferers lose the ability to move, speak, and perform daily activities. At the time, there was no effective treatment. The diagnosis was essentially a devastating verdict. For an athlete known for his physical prowess, the disease felt particularly cruel. But what amazed the world was how Gehrig dealt with it. He didn't get angry. He didn't blame anyone. He chose to face reality with extraordinary courage. The speech that changed history. On July 4th, 1939, Yankee Stadium was filled with thousands of fans. That day was one of the most emotional moments in sports history. Lou Gehrig stood before the crowd to deliver his farewell. Many expected him to be filled with sadness, but the opposite was true. In his famous speech, Gehrig said that he considered himself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. The luckiest man on the face of the earth. The statement shocked many. How could someone who had just received a terminal diagnosis say such a thing? The answer was simple. Gehrig chose to be grateful for all the good things he had received in his life. He thanked his family, his teammates, his fans, and the life that had given him so many opportunities. The speech became a symbol of courage, optimism, and determination. To this day, the speech is still considered one of the most inspiring speeches in the history of sports. A legacy that extends beyond baseball. After retirement, Gehrig's health continued to decline. On June 2, 1941, he died at the age of 37. His life was short, but his impact was profound. Lou Gehrig's name will never be forgotten. ALS is often referred to as Lou Gehrig's disease in the United States because of the significant impact he had in raising public awareness of the disease. His story continues to be told from generation to generation, not just to athletes, but to anyone facing adversity in life. Lessons from the Iron Horse. There are many lessons we can learn from Lou Gehrig. First, hard work is often more important than talent alone. Gehrig wasn't the most famous player when he began his career, but his dedication made him a legend. Second, consistency is incredibly powerful for his accomplishments, but also for his humility. And finally, true courage is seen when someone faces the most difficult times in their life. When a terminal illness struck, Gehrig didn't let fear define him. He chose gratitude, he chose hope, he chose dignity. Conclusion. Lou Gehrig may have left this world more than 8 decades ago, but his spirit lives on today. Every time an athlete continues to fight despite his injuries, every time someone chooses to work hard without seeking praise, every time someone faces life's trials with their head held high and their heart filled with gratitude, that's where Lou Gehrig's legacy lives on. He wasn't just a baseball legend. He wasn't just a record holder. He was a symbol of human resilience. The Iron Horse taught the world that the greatest strength isn't the ability to never fall, but the courage to keep going, even when life throws the toughest tests.